Yeah, hi. My engine, when it's warm, it makes a knocking sound. It sounds pretty bad. I don't think it's the engine itself because you guys just put it in 2 years ago. Yeah, I just checked the records 6 years ago. And it's an engine supplied by you, the customer. So anyways, we'll see what happens. It's probably something minor. Maybe it just needs oil. So the van's here, no knocking noise, everything looks good, no major oil leaks, nothing. Transmission looks okay. We didn't actually hear the knocking, but this is my first suspect here. We got a CV joint, completely dried out, rusty. So I think the CV joint is knocking. But I would prefer to actually hear the knock rather than just go ahead and replace the joint. But it's a justified repair if you just look at it like that. So anyways, lucky it's not the motor, and we installed it 6 years ago, so must have been a good job that I did. When bleeding cooling systems, pay attention to the nipple here. When you squeeze the hose, there should not be any fluid coming out. If fluid comes out, that means the valve is open. It should be closed right now. It shouldn't open until there's about 18-20 psi. When you're replacing brake lines and you're trying to loosen this fitting, that's a 11 millimeter and that's a 14. The bottom of the hose is held in by this metal tab, so it shouldn't rotate as you rotate this guy. But if you're applying a lot of pressure and this guy won't snap loose, take a flat punch like this and just hit against the hose. This is the metal piece of the hose, so you knock against this piece right here several times, and that shock breaks the threads loose for this guy here. So I'm just going to do that real quick, off camera, obviously, because I can't hammer and hold the phone at the same time. Okay, so you can see the shiny part where I hit it with a hammer right there, and this guy should hopefully break free now. If not, I'm going to hammer some more. And you want to use a flare nut wrench, less likelihood of it slipping. Ouch! And it slipped because I wasn't fully on. Okay, it broke free, but I had to double wrench it like this to break it free. And you can see that this guy turns now. If this little spring retainer is in the way of you punching it, you can turn it. So if it's sitting like this and you can't get your punch at it, just use a screwdriver and just wedge it in here, and you can then rotate it like this out of the way. Something like that. Well, you get the idea. There you go. And then you can hit this area right there. Alright, happy brake line service, or brake hose service. I forgot to mention earlier that in order to get at the brake hose here, you have to remove this plate. All it is a vent for the battery that's in behind here. It's on the passenger side. It's held on by rivets. All you do is stick a screwdriver in there and pry up, and usually the rivets break. If the rivets are fairly new, then just take a drill and drill the head off. There's 5 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then obviously install new rivets and put the plate here. You don't have to put the plate here, but there's a round opening right in behind here, and then there's a likelihood of stuff getting in there, either water spraying up in there, or even rodents. Rodents could probably squeeze by here as well. They won't get in. Actually, they won't get in there because the battery sits fairly close. But anyways, just make sure the cover goes back on. Vanagon that has intermittent wipers that are not working, or the wipers are not working intermittently. That little lever is attached to the wiper arm here, and basically when you push it, it makes contact with the lower metal pin here, and when you pull it up, it makes contact with the upper. When you pull up, you spray the front windshield, or the front wipers go with the washer. If you push down, it's the rear. These, long story short, these contacts can get burnt. So what you do is you take one of these terminal files, and you can try to stick it in here between the terminals and then rub it back and forth. What I do is I take the wheel off and I take the 3 mounting bolts off, disconnect the connectors, pull the whole stock off of the steering column, and then I can get into these switch contact areas better, and then I just work them back and forth. So you want to clean the top one, the bottom one, and the middle one, and then your wiper should be working fine again.